I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life.
So this video is all about this ballet teacher that came online and was scolding the parents of the generation Alpha. That's the next generation after Gen Z. And I seen a clip of the video, but I want to check it out, and I decided let's check it out together. Then I'll come back with my commentary, and then we'll also check out people's reaction and people's comments about what is going on with parenting right now. So let's check out our video, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do. Okay. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions. And 7 times today, I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit, and mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. Your daughters, your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana ballet music. And they are asking me, can we hear Pound? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. 5. Where's the parenting? Where's the boundaries? Where's the help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. I come every day dressed, ready to go, and I'm in school too. I'm in college. I mean, I put bows in my hair. I'm wearing leotards. I'm trying to get them interested in like proper things for their age, and you guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old's daughters singing Pound Town? And it's just really, 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 it's upsetting. And I feel so bad. And I've watched different techniques, soft skills, soft parenting, gentle parenting. I'm patient. I don't I don't yell. I'll say, hey, let's regroup. If you guys need 5 minutes, let's do some breathing. Your kids are telling me to shut up. You guys' kids are saying, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. You're not my mom. They're putting they're hitting each other and hitting other kids. You address the parent. The parents are telling you, you don't tell my daughter what to do. It's not that bad. Well, at least she was in the class. At least. It's all these excuses. Y'all come in and you're more worried about what's going on your Instagram and TikTok feed versus being a parent. Be a fucking parent. You guys are horrible fucking parents. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but this generation of some of the mom, not all, but majority that I've dealt with kids that are between the ages of 5 and 4 and 3, you guys don't parent your children at all. They have no basic comprehension skills. They can't sit still. No attention span. They're hitting people. They can't talk. They can't communicate. They don't even know how to say, like, I want to go to the bathroom. If you ask them a question, they're rude, nasty, horrible attitudes at 5, and they want to hear Pound Town. What are you guys doing with your kids? What are you guys literally doing with your kids? Because I have never in my life experienced something so horrible. I literally don't even want to teach ballet to you guys' kids anymore because they are so hard to work and deal with. And I literally see why the teachers are quitting and your kids are getting expelled and kicked out, because it's no way, it is literally no way that this is happening.
So I didn't watch the whole thing. It's like a 9 minutes, 10 minutes video. I'll leave a link to our page in the comment section. That video has over 14 million views because it went viral. I don't know, I think the person who sang the Pound Town tried to write, she left a comment maybe on X and said something about she's going to make songs that are kid friendly or something. And when I saw this whole issue on the Shade Room and the reply of the person that sang the Pound Town, whatever, it just showed me that what this girl was saying is not even a lie, because there were so many people saying rubbish. The girl was not talking about the person that sang the Pound Town. She was talking to the parents. Why are you exposing your kids to whatever song that Pound Town is and the ski? That is just funny. What's ski? Any which way. I'm not a teacher, but I agree in part with what she said. The way some of this generation alpha children are, hey, wahala ma shele. There is going to be serious problem in the future if we don't correct it now. Like, there is a particular child, the boy is like 9 now. Yes, 9. I think this happened some years ago when he was less than 9. I don't know why a child of less than 9 cannot do basic arithmetics, basic mathematics without a calculator. So his mother said, oh, help with his homework, like she'll help with his homework and everything. And I was teaching him, and I was like, you don't need to use a calculator at this age. You should know how to do basic mathematics problems without a calculator. But because he has been spoiled by his parents or whoever, he shouted at me when I was trying to stop him from going to go and get the calculator. And what made me go, I ain't taking this nonsense, was his mother was right in front of us when the boy did that nonsense to me. And I was like, what the heck? Other people were there and they were, first of all, I'm older than his mother, okay? So I was like, what nonsense? Because I'm using my own time. I'm not your mother. Whatever, how you end up is none of my business. And the fact that that boy did not see anything wrong, and his mother did not see anything wrong with what he did, the fact that he wanted to use a calculator, the fact that he responded in a very rude manner, was just like, that's nonsense. I could not deal with it, and I was like, okay, let me respect myself. I'm not your teacher. I'm not supposed to involve myself in anything with you. You're just there. And I don't think after that day I helped him with any of his homework. I was like, you and your mother and your teacher, take care of it. Whatever happens to you in the future, it ain't my business. I have 2 degrees, okay? I have 2 degrees. I am not a delinquent. I am not someone that people will say, oh, something is wrong with this person. So what's my problem? And I left. But imagine having to deal with more than one child in a class, and then their parents are like that. Hey! I don't believe in gentle parenting. Let me say it now. I don't believe in that thing. I believe in active parenting. I believe in parenting that involves a whole lot of techniques. Gentle parenting, there are some skills, yes, you can take out of gentle parenting that would be great in helping to parent children. But you also have to have strict parenting. Let them know there are consequences for actions. You cannot start saying, if she doesn't want to stay there, let her not stay there. My friend, you will stay there. Because this world, you have to learn to follow rules. If you don't follow rules, you end up in jail. If you don't follow rules, you end up unaliving people. That's why you hear some people go to school and begin to do and undo. Because I was bullied. Or because, the teachers did not allow me to do what? Then they end up being delinquent, end up causing pain. These ones now that don't want to follow rules, what's going to happen to them in the future? Anyway, let's check out people's opinion. Let's check out people's comments about the whole parenting issue, parenting crisis. Because it's a crisis not only in America, all over the world. Because some countries is not. Like, I think Asian countries are still on lockdown with their children. It's just that some countries like South Korea, the bullying that occurs. Anyway, let's check out people's opinion, and then I'll come back with my commentary.
5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana.
There is something wrong when a 5-year-old is asking to listen to Pound Town.
I don't even want to know what that Pound Town is. I'm not going to.
Let's go. I am sick of these teachers. I am sick of these teachers having to get on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and tell parents to correct their children. There is no reason why a 5-year-old is asking to listen to Pound Town. What the fuck are y'all doing as parents that a 5-year-old little girl or 5-year-old little girls are asking to listen to Pound Town? Let's get a few things out of the way. That song is inappropriate as fuck. And if your 5-year-old knows it, you are failing as a parent. That's number one. Number two, these teachers do not get paid enough to take disrespect and abuse from you and your offspring. Those are your children. You want to let them disrespect you and other people? Keep them at home. You don't want anybody correcting your child? Keep them at home. See, I'm going to tell y'all what the problem is. It's all this gentle parenting shit. See, our parents didn't get everything right, but they didn't get everything wrong either, because we fucking knew better. We knew not to disrespect any adult. Otherwise, we were going to hear about it and probably feel it when we got home. Now, before everybody get in the comments and talk about how, it's abuse, spanking is wrong, yelling is wrong, all of this other goofy shit, you know what? It made us better people. I'm not saying it was right, but it made us better people because we knew better. We knew not to stand up. We knew not to buck up at a teacher. We knew not to buck up at our parents. We knew better. It was not acceptable for a 5-year-old to tell their teacher, I ain't gotta listen to you. You ain't my mom. I ain't gotta do this. I ain't gotta listen. I ain't gotta sit down. And then you have the parents that decide, oh, well, if she don't want to sit there, she ain't got to. Well, what does she do? What does she do? It ain't that serious. If it ain't that serious, why you keep your child at home? I will not stress that enough. You see, here's the problem that we are having. Y'all kids wake up and choose audacity and entitlement, and y'all co-sign that shit. Nobody has to deal with your disrespectful ass child. That's your child. You have to remember something. These teachers are getting paid to do a job. And yes, while they signed on to teach, they didn't sign up to be disrespected. You wouldn't let a grown person disrespect you at your job. You gonna let a 5-year-old do it? No, right? You wouldn't take that shit from nobody else's 5-year-old, so why should anybody have to take it from yours? See, the problem is, as Bill Maher said, we live in the hey buddy generation. Hey buddy, can you put your shoes on? Hey buddy, how do you feel about cleaning your room? Our parents didn't talk to us like that. Our houses, a lot of our houses sounded like a trap house. It sounded like Def Comedy Jam on Friday night. Hey, go put your damn shoes on before you get left. Let's go. Can you clean your room? How do you feel about cleaning your room? Saturday morning, everybody was cleaning up. And if your room looked like it barely survived Katrina, if you don't clean this room right now, they ain't have to finish the sentence. We already knew. See, what everybody needs to understand is that these 5-year-old girls will be 15-year-old girls, will be 25-year-old girls. Correct your children before the Department of Corrections has to correct them. See, then it's out of your control. Correct your children before somebody that ain't nice corrects your children. Because everybody ain't going to take that shit from them. I ain't saying anybody going to swing on a 5-year-old, but when she 12 and 13 and 14 and she decide to buck up to a grown woman, she going to fuck around and find out. Do better with children. Pound Town. Oh my God, Pound Town. Like, goddamn, what the f is happening, y'all?
Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee.
Y'all think it's cute when y'all children act like this. Y'all think it's cute that y'all kids are telling adults, oh, you can't tell me nothing. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. Y'all think that's cute. You think it's cute when your son can rap the songs lyric for lyric. Y'all think it's cute. Y'all think it's cute. These kids don't even know phonics. These kids can't even read. They can barely wipe their butt. Talking about Pound Town Ski Yee. Yeah. And I just find it funny because the bad parents, they'll be the first to tell you, oh, worry about your own kid. What I do on my house is my house. Baby, these are our future lawmakers. These are our future lawyers, doctors, presidents. This is the future. It affects me too. When you need open heart surgery and they can't do nothing but sing over you, talking about some Pound Town, just like Pound Town. He just took a down. While you on that table dying because they can't even read the instructions, they don't even know how to start the surgery. I don't want to hear nothing. Because this thing, my sister's 12. She don't know nothing about sexy right. I promise you she don't. My mama don't play that. I don't play that. My son right now is watching TV. I bet you money I know what he's watching. I can hear it. He watching Gracie's Corner. TV's loud enough that I can hear him. Because I'm monitoring what he's watching. Y'all get these kids tablets at 5 months and then that's it. The tablet's raising the children. The grandma's the baby. Y'all send y'all kids outside because y'all don't want to deal with them. Y'all not paying attention to who's actually playing with y'all kids. Y'all not paying attention to what y'all kids are actually exposed to. Y'all not sitting down doing homework with y'all kids. Y'all not doing none of that. I'm making jokes. But it's sad. It's sad. Because you know how people say, oh, kids are the future? The future is looking grim.
This is my folder of crying teachers, and they are confused and frightened by the behavior of Gen Alpha. They're saying Gen Alpha is defiant, aggressive, disrespectful, and rude. I saw this video of a girl who taught 5-year-olds ballet, and she said that they were requesting to twerk to Pound Town. And this is true. I volunteered at preschools for years, and I noticed a behavioral shift in that time. My mom is a behavioral analyst, and she constantly talks about how Gen Alpha has the worst behavioral defects she's ever seen. Here's what I think. I think the millennials raising this generation, who were raised by boomers and Gen X themselves, are trying to overcorrect the way they were raised. They were probably very disciplined and hated it and vowed to never do the same thing to their own kids. And I get it. I was raised by traditional Greek immigrants. I know what strict is. But a child needs structure. And when you allow your kid's behavior to go unchecked and laugh it off as cute or an independent personality, you're setting them up for failure. It feels like a lot of these parents are trying to find an easy way out of parenting, so they handed their kids iPads to make them shut up, never implemented any rules or guidance because they didn't know how, and blamed their socially inept child's disrespectful behavior on teachers not understanding. And don't you dare flood my comments about what if they're neurodivergent. This is about behavioral defects caused by parenting and technology exposure. It's not about that. I have severe ADHD, my brother has autism. I get it. This isn't about us. But if your child is the common denominator of a history of defiance, they're the problem. Your parenting is the problem. Another thing that I feel is noteworthy, which I never shut up about, is about how tech exposure is destroying them. That one girl who had students who wanted to listen to Pound Town, I had students who were constantly talking about MILFs and Discord kittens and yachts, which is haha funny, whatever, they're being kids, but online consumption is inherently sexualized. Music videos, clothing style, internet jokes and terms, general perceptions about whole demographics. Like, these kids know that a Discord kitten has a sexual connotation to it. They're watching music videos that depict an erotic lifestyle without even knowing the implications of it. Kids on their iPads are being exposed to highly sexual media that they are not developmentally ready to process yet. So now you see little preschoolers who are wielding these internet jokes and memes that are inherently sexual as a way of demeaning those with authority. My cousin is a middle school teacher and her male students literally harass her in the hallways like, oh, look at that cat. Like, no, it's not funny. It's disrespect. It's not appropriate. It is literally another way of defying authority and being defiant, but only more dehumanizing. And people play it off as a joke. It's not. And you're setting your kids up by handing them iPads to make them shut up, like it's the very resource and gateway to these harmful rabbit holes, which over time can lead to porn addiction, hypersexuality, all these issues that run rampant in younger generations. And you're putting your literal 4-year-old in this game of Russian roulette. And I could go on forever about the role that tech plays and how it's literally making us unable to interact with other people, but that'll take too long. Long story short, put your kids in the woods. Teach them how to climb a tree. When I was 7, I was outside eating dirt and slugs and building teepees. And I'm not even old, I'm only 19, but in the past 10 years, things have shifted wildly. Like, I beg you, join your kid for a walk outside, whether you're in the city or the suburbs. Raising a child is a massive responsibility, and you're not taking it as seriously as you should.
Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town. And
Yeesh. If you got time for a 10-minute video, watch your whole video and understand the full context of it. If you don't, I'll break it down real quick so you understand. So basically, this woman is a teacher, a ballet teacher in specific, teaching 5-year-olds who it's in a group of 10, right? And she's talking about how the kids nowadays are not paying attention or being respectful and very much, pretty much listening to these ratchet music, if you will. And she basically tells one of the parents that their daughter's not listening, and, you know, even though it has to redirect her, and the response of the parent was just baffling. I don't know if she's holding back because, you know, maybe they're watching and she can only say what she thought is somewhat suitable for, you know, whatever, making a video. And her response is, well, why are you guys even telling her what to do? You know she doesn't want to sit there. I would normally say that these moms need to do better. And all I gotta say is, for the dads, if y'all listening, if y'all all with them or not with them, right? Y'all have to co-parent, don't matter, right? Please, I encourage you, be there for your kid's life. And this also could talk about being there for your son's life when you're not with them and you guys have different viewpoints, right? And I'm gonna say why. Because at the end of the day, and not all of them, right? Just as much as we have faults of our own, but most don't think the way we do. The ones that want to improve our lives, improve our kids' lives, right? If they are very heavily influenced by what's going on nowadays in this society, and you have an actual different take, right? I would encourage you to still be there for your kid's life. Hell, even if it, like, let's say your sister's small, right? Really, really small, and you're old, really old, and she has to go through this, whether even if it's a boy, whatever. Be part of their lives. Coach them. Guide them. They need you. They need you. Because I don't know about you, I'm a 32-year-old man, right? I grew up Hispanic in a very ghetto neighborhood. I had a very heavily disciplined background. Not military, actual like the chancla and everything. Because I was bad. I did a lot of bad stuff. I ain't gonna pretend like I was a good kid either. But this generation is very different. Is not the same, right? This one is very heavily indoctrination about every subject that has to do with nowadays. That are being influenced by others. And now for the kids. And now for them giving the option to do as they please. And that's not how it rolls. For an adult, at the end of the day, you make your own decision. I might not agree with it. That is on you. And I'm cool with that. But for kids, they need guidance. So for you to say, well, they should be able to do as they want. No. And if you're a parent thinking like that, I'll be nice about it. Probably should give them to your grandma or your mom. Because believe it or not, your mentality might be correct, but down the long run, it could affect them without you even understanding how bad that decision was. Because choices do have, consequences in all aspects, right? But in this subject, let's stick to the girls, right? Fathers, please try to be there for your daughter. She will thank you. You're gonna get bombarded with a lot of negative backlash. You shouldn't be listening to him. You should do as you want, regardless if you're a kid, regardless if you're a teenager, regardless if you're an adult. Don't be listening to your dad. Do what you want. You have to do what you can to stick to her and help her and guide her. If you want her to make her choices in the future, help her to those pathways so that she can make better decisions and she can, live the way that she envisions it, not what the world wants them to envision. It's a cold world, but you guys can do it. I believe it. I may not have a daughter, I have a son. And I know he ain't the same, but trust me, I ain't letting none of this being influenced to him. And this goes with social media, outside in the real world, the music, you name it. I got that. So please, dads, it is an important role. It's an important role for you guys to do. You might not see it. You might not even think it's that deep. It is that deep. Your kids are going to really thank you for it. If it's behind closed doors, it is what it is. Y'all don't need to you don't need to have those praises. Just do your job. And for the teacher, well, I know that you want this, and nowadays, you maybe reconsider. Try maybe with adults. At least you'll know that some of them are entitled, but some of them will actually listen. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22. Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet, 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions, and 7 times today I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit, and mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it. What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing, It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching, is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. Your daughters, your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana, and they are asking me, can we hear Pound? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today, because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen.
Sad, man. This is really sad, and this is a young woman. This ain't even like an older lady that's so brokenhearted over this. This is a young 22-year-old young woman, young ballet teacher who, you know, is brokenhearted over this because she knows it's not right. I'm sure she remembers what it was like being a young girl and actually being raised the right way, and her mind is blown from what she's seeing with her own students. It's crazy what the music is like now. Songs like Pound Town, I had to look up what that was. That's by an artist named Sexy Red, but these little 5-year-old kids are asking to listen to this disgusting, nasty, perverted, twisted, and it's just downright demonic music.
Okay, what is okay? That's enough.
Okay, thank you.
My booty hole brown.
Thank you.
You heard of my booty hole brown.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
My booty hole brown.
Okay.
I'll tell y'all what happened. Y'all want to know what happened? Because it happened very gradually, but I promise you that I seen it coming. Now, this is what happened. It's like it all started with artists like Little Kim, you know, provocative, you know, very sexualized artists. But then it got the next step up to that, or the next step, let's say, of that was artists like Nicki Minaj, and becoming even more, you know, explicit with the visuals and with the music and with the imagery. But then the next step to that was it got even worse with people like Cardi B. Now, Cardi B, not only was she like an explicit and very provocative artist, but she was literally like a stripper, you know. So it's like we went from glorifying just being a very sexual woman to actually coming from a lifestyle of a stripper, and then glorifying that, and then making that, you know, the new example or the new thing for young girls to look to. Now, when I seen that happen, I knew trouble was on the horizon, I promise you, because it's like, dang, you just see it kind of slipping downward. Is going downward. Like the standard is becoming lower and lower, and what's becoming acceptable or what's looked at as glamorized are things that were once before, you know, degrading or belittling.
Young Gen Z teachers are talking about the poor behavior of Gen Alpha students, and some of y'all are finally starting to believe us when it comes to how much we've missed the mark on raising these kids right. Because I have gray in my hair and I'm 36 years old, people tend to tune me out as soon as I open my mouth when I start talking about these issues we're seeing in the classroom with our kids these days. So before I go on, why don't we review some of the evidence from some of the other creators on this app who might be a little bit more of a relatable age. This is my folder of crying teachers, and they are confused and frightened by the behavior of Gen Alpha. They're saying Gen Alpha is defiant, aggressive, disrespectful, and rude.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom.
Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
I'm a middle school teacher. I'm also 22 years old. And I will tell you, by far, we are doomed. Like, these kids do not care. Like, I have kids, all they want to do all day long is get high. Like,
I need to ask millennials, why are your kids so awful? And more importantly, why do you think it's so funny? Your kids cannot read. They cannot write. They are ill-mannered.
I've been trying to sound the alarm about Gen Alpha students and their poor behavior in their classrooms, as well as their literacy problems, since May of last year. But because of my age and how I look, every time I make a video about these topics, I'll get people that have never worked with kids or have never spent a day in the classroom as an educator give me lines like, well, you're just old and jaded. If you don't like it and you can't handle it, quit and find another job. Kids have always been like this. Nothing's new in 2023. And then we've got the droves of people that are trying to blame it on COVID and trying to blame it on the lockdown. Us not having any sympathy or empathy for students with special needs, even though I never talk about those types of students. And I'm always talking about general population students and the fact that this is an overarching problem with every single kid, even the high achievers, even the ones that don't need IEPs, even the ones that are highly socialized and have a lot of resources coming from home. Teachers that have been in this for 1, 2, 3 years are seeing it and they are talking about it. Teachers that are veterans like me that have been in the classroom for over a decade or 2 or 3 or nearing retirement are also saying the same thing. Your children are missing the mark on discipline. They're missing the mark on education standards. They're missing the mark on literacy. They're missing the mark on socialization. We can blame it on COVID. We can blame it on iPads raising our kids. We can blame it on the fact that kids don't socialize with each other enough. We can blame it on the economy and the fact that parents don't have time to help their kids learn how to read or don't have time to take their kids to the park anymore. We can blame it on all of those things, or we can blame it on none of those things. But it sounds like we're starting to get into a consensus here amongst educators that we have a real problem. And some of y'all need to stop making excuses. You're just blaming the kids. You're just so mean. No, we are not. The problem is that we have this generation of parents that doesn't want to take accountability for not doing what they need to do to raise kids that are self-sufficient, that are socialized, or kind. And no, it's not the kids' fault. And why does it seem like teachers are the only ones that are talking about it? The people that are talking about it are the ones that work with the kids and not the ones that are raising the kids. Gen Alpha have been raised to believe that they are grown folks, that they can speak to whoever they want, however they want, that violence is the answer. Gen Alpha students are raised in a world that tells them that it's okay to be as nihilistic and individualistic as possible, that they don't have to care about anything or anyone, that they can speak to anybody however they want to speak to them, even though they're only 10, 11, or 12 years old. Most importantly, they are being conditioned to believe that they are immune to consequences, that there are no consequences to their poor behavior, to their rudeness, to their lack of care in completing tasks and doing well in school. They just don't care. Is this us demonizing kids for fun? No, it's not. The people that are talking about this are genuinely concerned. We are frightened for these kids. And if you're sitting back saying, oh my God, poor babies, like, I wish you would just quit talking about them because you're just being mean and it's not even helpful because kids are just kids, you are doing them absolutely a disservice to their future. This is not just an old people complaining about young people problem anymore. Young people in Generation Z, young teachers who are seeing the same thing I'm seeing with my 2 eyeballs, are talking about the same thing. You can call it an old folks complaining about young folks thing. Why are you demonizing millennial parents? Why are you demonizing Gen Alpha kids? Or you can step back and look at it from our perspective and say, gee, I wonder why there's so many people talking about the same thing. I wonder why there's so many teachers that are concerned about the same thing. We cannot even begin to talk about solutions until we admit there's a problem. Most of you whom are parents, because y'all are the ones that matter. I don't even care about the ones who are just trolls and are sitting back saying, school doesn't matter, yap, yap, yap. Mayor of Yapville, who cares? I don't care about you either. I'm talking to parents. If you are not ready to admit that there's a problem here, we cannot get anywhere near even talking about the solutions. We cannot raise a generation of kids that are this tuned out, that are this rude, that are this violent to each other, to adults, to people younger than them. We just can't do it.
I'm so sorry, but this right here is unacceptable. Now, an 8th grader spelling like that is insane. And I'm gonna just be real. I have no idea if there is some type of learning disability behind this, or if this person, English isn't their first language, but from what they're saying, it's an 8th grader. And with all the topics that have been going around with teachers basically coming out and saying, like, I have 8th graders and 7th graders and they're performing on a 4th and 3rd grade level. We've had teachers say that they, like, kindergartners, 1st graders don't even know their full alphabet, which is insane. And I feel like this needs to be talked about, because why is the educational aspect of, like, everything declining? In my opinion, they need to lock up them damn phones away, because when I was in elementary school, the only type of phones that were there were not touchscreen. It was just the little texting phones where all you could do is text. You can't go and surf the internet. You can't go on TikTok. You can't go on any of those other stuff. All you were doing is texting. Mind you, we weren't even allowed to have phones in elementary school. So therefore, there was no way we could be distracted. And it's crazy because not only that, there's a lack of guidance in education now, because not only do these kids have all types of phones out in class, iPhone 11s, all these phones, that they're so distracted, they're not even paying attention, mind you.
Okay, so we've seen the reaction of some people, and especially some people that are educators. Now, I agree with what they're saying, because the whole thing, like I told you, I had an experience with that child. And the thing was just weird. And this same person, this same child, is the one they give iPhone to. And I'm like, what is a 7-year-old, 8-year-old doing with an iPhone? Like, if this child is going to have a phone because you want to communicate with the child, maybe when you're not around, give the child a phone that is not like touch screen or Android. What happened to the plain small phone? What happened to that one? You're giving these children iPhone, iPads, and then they are connecting to social media platforms. They're seeing all sorts of things. There's peer pressure on social media platform. Everybody is trying to get to a level that they are not yet supposed to be going to. What I'm trying to say, these children will see a life that they are not supposed to attain at their age, but they want to get there. It's not only the generation alphas, it's also the Gen Z. There's so much pressure on people through social media. Before, you used to say peer pressure with your friends. Now there's social media pressure. There's all kinds of things. People want to attain what they are not supposed to attain. These children are exposed to so many things. The visuals, the music, like, what is going on? And then the parents lack discipline. You cannot tell me a child of 8 should not know that consequences for your actions. Like, you shout at an elderly person, you get beaten. You don't do your homework right, you get punished. I don't understand that one. Oh, no yelling, no beating, no. If the child does not grow up knowing that there are consequences for actions, like someone said, the correctional department of correction will correct them. And that is the truth. You tell them they do something, they disrespect their teacher, they don't do their homework, they don't stay where they're supposed to stay, they don't follow instruction, they don't do anything. My dear, this life is covered by rules. This life is governed by rules. Do not drink and drive is the rule. Why should I not drive? When I've taken alcohol, you would end up killing someone. Or if a police officer catches you, a police officer says that you are driving under the influence, you will go to jail or pay a fine. Okay. Rules, actions, consequences to your actions. Now, you don't teach them that. You don't have structure. You don't discipline them at their age. You allow them to freestyle. They will freestyle inside. I was about to say they will freestyle 6 feet under, which is true. They will freestyle inside jail, which is true. They will end up being useless adults. I'm just looking at with the whole nonsense that is going on. Who are the next set of surgeons? Next set of nurses? Next set of pharmacists? next set of biochemists, next set of astronauts. If these ones cannot stay in line, how can they read their science? How can they read their maths? Look at that one that I said, do not use a calculator. Try and know these things so that you, because you're not going to use a calculator in your class or in the exam and it became a problem. Try to read books to know things, learn it. You're using your phone to get the answer. Maybe I'm old school. I'm really old school. Or maybe it's the military training I had as for my secondary school. I don't believe in all this gentle parenting. I don't at all. And that gentle parenting of no structure, no discipline will end up having problems for you. Trust me. It's not even a cause. It's what's going to happen. You don't train your child well, that child will bring heartache to you. Okay? So, that is my own opinion. I don't know if anybody out there thinks the same way I think. So, I would love to hear your thoughts about the whole issue. Do you think that parents need to do better? And do better now before there is a serious crisis in the future? Or do you think it's not a big deal like some of the parents will say? Please leave your comments in the comment section. Let's get this discussion popping. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed but you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified every time I upload videos. Now, with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.